Hi everyone, welcome back to today's video. For today, I'm going to show you guys how to make this super cute card using a bunch of new products from the Occasions catalog. So I'm super excited to share this one with you guys. I cannot wait. I am in love with all of the stuff from the Occasions and Celebration catalogs, and I just cannot get over it. So before we jump into the video, speaking of the new catalogs, if you have not received if you've not received the new Occasions and Celebrations catalogs and you have not requested one from me yet, please make sure you either send me an email at littlemooncreation@gmail.com, or you can go to my website and use the contact me form and give me all of your information that way, and I'll send one right out to you. So if you have already requested one, you should be getting them sometime this week. I mentioned that in my video yesterday. I was checking the tracking numbers and all of them are scheduled to be delivered this week. But if you haven't requested one yet, please let me know and I'll get that right out to you. So to go ahead and start off, I will show you guys the products that we need to make this super cute card. So the stamp set we're going to be using today is Sweet Sentiment. So this is a new one from the Occasions catalog, and it's just perfect. It's got a ton of different sentiments for every occasion. I think that this is a really good one to have in your arsenal. And I think it's one of those things where you can really take anything. You can take just a designer series piece of paper and use a sentiment and make a really fantastic, beautiful card. So I think this is a really good one that is going to be very useful to have on hand. We're going to be using this Everyone Needs a Friend Like You sentiment from this set today, but any of these are absolutely amazing, and some of them, like this Enjoy, really ties into the cupcake and carousels feel and theme, and there's just all of these tie in perfectly to the new product. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy that. I'm loving that one already. We're going to be using the metallic sequin assortments. So this just has a bunch of different colors in here. We're really going to be using the white, clear, and then one of the black sequins. So these are from the annual catalog, but I have a bunch of packs of these and I use them all the time for just little embellishments. We're going to be using our basic black ink. This is the only ink pad we're going to be using for this one. We're going to be using the new watercolor pencils. I'm so excited to use these. I love this, and I love the way that this card turned out. And the beauty of this card is that it's going to turn out different every single time. So that's really awesome. We are also going to be using an aqua painter with our watercolor pencils. You can use whatever painting tool you have. Just if you have a regular paintbrush, go ahead and use that. You don't have to use the aqua painters. I'm also going to be using this new embossing folder from the Occasions catalog, and I think it's called Falling Petals. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but definitely check out the first link in the description below. It'll be my blog post, my coordinating blog post for this video, and it'll have the exact name of this in here. I can't remember off the top. I'm pretty sure it's Falling Petals, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Then for our paper, I have just a little piece here of thick Whisper White, and this is cut at 3.5 by 1.25 inches. I have this piece here, and this is just watercolor paper, and this is cut at 4 inches by 5.25. And then I have our standard card base cut at 8.5 by 5.5 and Melon Mambo. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so to start, I'm going to go ahead and grab my watercolor pencils and our watercolor piece. And the beauty of these watercolor pencils, I'm sure you've seen a ton of people talk about them so far. I am absolutely obsessed with them. And the really cool thing about these is that they're all in our coordinating colors. So I'm going to grab the Melon Mambo colored pencil, and that's what we're going to use to create this background for today. So you can do this any way, and this one is probably not going to turn out exactly like my sample card did, because that's the beauty of watercolor. Every single one is going to turn out just a little bit different. But what I started with is I just took my pencil and just did some circular motions, getting a lot of the pigment down on the bottom. And then I'm just going to take my aqua painter and just get it nice and juiced up by squeezing it a little bit to make sure there's lots of water down there. And I just start by working the brush in the ink, or I guess I shouldn't say ink, in the watercolor pencil, and it basically just melts the colored pencil. It's absolutely fantastic. I love it. So I'm just going to start working it up, and then once I get through like all of the all of the color down here, I then just kind of start to drag that color up so that we have a nice gradient effect. Then what I'm going to do, and this does, I would suggest, and I should have said in the beginning, to have your heat tool or some kind of drying tool, because you don't want to use the watercolor pencil while the paper is still wet. So what I'm going to do is take my heat tool and I'm going to heat this up so that it gets nice and dry before I go and try and add another layer of color. Okay, so, and I don't need it to be completely, I mean, you want it to be really dry. You don't want to be putting your pencil in on wet paper, because that kind of defeats, it doesn't, you don't get the same effect. And I don't need a ton of color from here, but I do want to be able to drag the color all the way up to the top of the paper. So I'm going to just add some more color down here in the bottom, and that's why you want your paper to be dry, so that you can then just color over it again. So I just need a little bit more so that I can pick that beautiful color up. Oh, I absolutely love these watercolor pencils. They work so well, and it's so easy. The pigment literally just melts with the water. It's absolutely amazing. I cannot get over how well these blend and move the color around. I'm just getting some more water in there so that I can keep bringing this color up. And like I said, every single one that you do is going to be slightly different. So this one isn't going to be exactly the same as my sample, but that's the beauty of it. You can really do whatever you want and get a ton of different looks, and it just turns out absolutely amazing. I love watercoloring. I think it's super fun, and it's a really fun technique to do. You can get a ton of different designs. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm pretty happy with that, but I'm going to go ahead and heat set this because I did want to do one other little effect that I did on my sample card that I think I really like how it turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and dry this one more time, and then I will be right back. Okay, so the one other little thing that I wanted to do is on my sample card, you can see here that this side right here is a little bit darker than this side, and I kind of did that on accident, but I really like the way that it looks. The way that I got that is I just took the colored pencil and I just scribbled a very thin line on that side right there. And then my water brush looks like it's running low, but that's okay. And then I just took the color and I started blending it in a little bit. So it just gives you this very faint difference that I really, really like the look of. It just kind of gives you a little bit more texture on the card. And it really just has a nice little impact that I think. So you could do it a little bit darker. For this one, I think I'm going to leave it like that just because why not? Mix it up, make it a little bit different. And you could do it on this side. You could do like a stripe down the middle. You could do a couple passes in the going left to right. You could do whatever you want. It's all about doing what you think is going to look best. So I'm going to go ahead and heat set this little side, and then we should be able to move on with the rest of the card. So our next step is going to be to emboss this piece. And I think this is really what takes this card and turns it up. I absolutely love this, and I love this embossing folder. So I should have done this before, but I'll do it right now. I'm not going to be too conscious about where I put this. I'm just going to kind of stick it in there. I'm going to flip to my embossing tab, put one plate down, put the next plate down, and crank this through. Because it's watercolor paper, it is a little bit more finicky to get through, but you can get it through no problem. Okay, let me set my plates off to the side. And there is our little watercolor piece. I absolutely love it. And like I said, I really think it takes this piece and it just makes it 100 times prettier. Not that it wasn't pretty before, but I really think it just takes it and it elevates it a little bit. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to set this off to the side, and I'm going to bring in our little piece of Whisper White, and I need a block. and we're going to grab our stamp set here. And like I said, we're using this one that says everyone needs a friend like you. I think this is just a really sweet friend card. You could do this for any occasion, just to tell someone you're thinking of them. Maybe your friend had a bad day, something like that. I think this is just an awesome one. I absolutely love this card. And we're just going to take our basic black ink and ink this up really well. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp this, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment closest to the left-hand side of this little piece of cardstock as possible. And I'm going to try not to get my big noggin in there. Perfect. So that's all the stamping we're doing. And then I'm just going to take my scissors here, and I'm going to cut a little banner. So I'm going to cut straight up, and then I'm going to cut from the points of the paper up to that center mark. So if you've never cut banners like that before, super stinking easy, and that way you can create any kind of banner for any piece that you have. So much fun. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and flip that over, and I'm going to grab some dimensionals, and I'm going to do, I don't know, we'll do 5 because you guys know I'm dimensional crazy. And just take the backings off of all of these. Whoops. And then we'll go ahead and stick this on. And you don't have to use dimensionals. You can use, if you just wanted it to be flat on here, you could. I think dimensionals are a good option because of the texture on the back, on the bottom piece. It makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and grab my glue dots if I can find that. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to use glue dots for this. I'm going to use my fine tip glue pen, and I'm going to grab my metallic sequins. And really all I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the black heart. So the easiest way I find is if you can't see the one that you want right away. So I really want one of these little black hearts, and I'm going to put it right here. But what I do is I'll just take a pinch and put it in the lid, and then I'll kind of sift through that. And then I'll take another pinch, put it in the lid, and kind of sift through that until I get everything that I want. So I have this little black heart here, and all you have to do is take your fine tip glue pen and just put a little dollop down, and then take your little sequin. And I try to put the sequin, the whole of the sequin, where my glue dot was, but you don't have to do that. It doesn't work that way. And if you actually wanted to use glue dots instead of the fine tip glue pen, you could absolutely do that. I've done that before. I just think that using the fine tip glue pen is a little bit easier when you're doing something like this, because I'm going to be putting quite a few sequins on here that I just think it works out a little bit easier for myself, but that's just me. So all I'm going to do is take the white sequins and the clear sequins and just kind of scatter them over the card. I don't really have any rhyme or reason to it. I'm just kind of going willy-nilly and putting them where I think they will look the best. I think on my sample card I maybe did 5 of each, 5 of the clear and 5 of the white. Not sure what I'm going to do with this card, but we shall find out. Okay, so now that all of our little sequins are attached, I did take just like 2 minutes to make sure that all of the glue was dry before I really messed with it. We're going to bring in our card base in Melon Mambo, and I'm going to just fold this in half. Because this piece is watercolored and embossed, I am going to be using Fast Fuse to attach it, just so that I make sure that it does not go anywhere. On all 4 sides. And then I'm just going to, stick it down to our card base, just like so. Whoops, that was a little crooked. Just like so. And there you have it. There's our card for today. So I really hope you guys enjoy this one. I absolutely love this card. It's so simple to make, but it's so, so beautiful. And I loved using the watercolor pencils and this new embossing folder. I just love everything about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Be on the lookout for more projects coming up soon using the new occasions and celebration items. And don't forget that if you still need your catalog, to make sure you request it so that I can get it into the mail to you as soon as possible. Also, don't forget I am doing a paper share with all of the occasions and celebration papers that are going to be available. So if you didn't watch yesterday's video, make sure you go check that out. I will put it somewhere. And if you're interested in that, make sure you head over to my Etsy store. The link is down in the description box below. If you have any questions, concerns, suggestions, anything, please feel free to email me at littlemooncreation@gmail.com. And if you want to shop any of these Stampin' Up! Products 24/7, make sure you head over to littlemooncreation.stampinup.net and you can shop all of the current available Stampin' Up! Products whenever you want. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I guess I will just see you in the next one. Bye!